Hey, everybody. We
We're in
did
production.
it. We're live. Excellent stuff. Yeah, welcome to the Gauntlet. This is the 4th iteration. My name is Pyrotangus. I'm, of course, joined by Yummy Cheese Man and Jim Nesso. This is a stream that is big enough for 3 casters.
It's
so we're doing
crazy.
it.
There's so much room in this bedroom. A bedroom built for 3.
I was going to say, it's built for 3 casters, but not for 3 egos. So I don't know how this is going to go.
No, we're going to be crashing each other out, I imagine, before the night's out for sure. But before we get started, I do want to remind everybody that we are this week brought to you by none other than Chicken Schnitzel Sandwiches. And you heard it right. We are actually brought to you by Chicken Schnitzel Sandwiches. They are the Schnitz.
And and why are we that? Well, Contraduck, he donated $120 for us to run an entire gauntlet. So it's sponsored by him, and he chose to be brought to you by Chicken Schnitzel Sandwiches for whatever reason. So that is the theme of the night, I guess.
I can appreciate it. I usually eat them without the sandwich component as I live in Germany, so there's a lot of schnitzel around. But no, it's pretty delicious. So, I think it's a good cause.
And if you do want to donate as well to run the gauntlet number 8, so we're well ahead already of running the gauntlet. We're looking long-term already, but we want to run more and more. We want to make this a mainstay week after week. So if you want to donate, go down below. All of tonight's donations will go straight into future prize pools.
That is right. The future of the gauntlet is in the palm of your hand.
It's honestly really exciting to see how much interest and how much commitment people have actually already shown. The fact that we're funded through 8, so seriously, good on all of you, the fans, for making this event possible over and over again. And we can't wait to keep getting it better and better.
Well, it's good. And we have a match too, apparently.
Yeah.
We've got the Manlets up against Justice Esports, and this is the first time that Justice Esports haven't been, well, it's the first time in a while that Justice Esports haven't been ahead of Out of Order.
Yeah, they've been crashing
Manlets
down a little bit.
Really came through the RLO bracket as well.
Yeah, so why don't you guys go ahead and tell us a little bit about Manlets for those people that haven't necessarily seen them outside of RLO and having qualified by winning and beating out Irrelevance last week. What can you tell me about this team?
I'm going to leave that in David's court. David had
I looked at him for a
honor
reason.
Of actually casting.
Yeah,
RLO
I cast the RLO
Saturdays,
final, and
so
they qualified. It was a 4-1. It was convincing over Irrelevance, who were in the gauntlet last week. But they are a really solid team. They just fell short of making it into league play in OCE. Dreams crushed, but they have stuck together and they're working really hard. One of the hardest working teams in the region, despite them not having a chance to get to the World Championship. Days is incredibly experienced, and you're backing that up with the firepower of Requiem, known for his unpredictable plays, and the young gun, Lurky, has come in. He's only 15 years old. He only just got old enough to really play RLCS, and he's already making a name for himself.
Is he playing this week?
I've heard there's been a change.
He's not. Changes in here.
So
yeah.
They bring in change. From what I've seen of change, he is quite consistent. You know what you're getting when you've got change. So I think bringing in that stability may be beneficial for them. But as you said, a young live wire like Lucky.
Yeah.
And
you just say he's consistent. The team really needs that because there is a lot of firepower on Requiem, but that can be that unpredictable firework that can break down the team as well.
Well, and when you talk about the Gauntlet being expanded to 5 teams as it was last week, you now have this bit of a wild card scenario where you have teams that have a chance to face off against others that have a bigger reputation than they do. Right now, Justice in this position, in this first matchup, how do you think they will stack up against Manlet's chess apparatus?
Realistically, Justice are a step ahead. They've been so good throughout the last 3 weeks, and they have taken out of Order. Last week, they couldn't take down Out of Order when they were on fire, but we do expect them to bounce back really hard.
Yeah, and I think from Justice perspective anyway, they're a team that's on the bubble. They're looking to establish themselves. They've got league play ahead of them in RLOM, and they really want to knuckle down and get some more consistency, get some more consistent performances under their belt heading into that.
I think they should be really the favorites here as well. But the one thing I do question is maybe we're seeing a little bit of a change of play style for them as they run into league play, and their big focus is on the World Championship. So maybe we'll see something different come out for them. Maybe there'll be shaky moments as they're starting to change and grind towards that big goal.
They're still developing a little bit more of synergy with one of their newer players, too. Misty's come in since the start of Season 7. We'll see how he continues to perform throughout today. It looks like we're getting ourselves started into Game 1. It, of course, is going to be best of 5s through. And, well, looks like we're just about ready to roll.
It should be an excellent match. The teams are joining. We're getting underway with the Gauntlet number 4. Can Manlets, after being upset multiple times on their qualifying matches, finally take down one of the top 4 teams and really prove that they are meant to be in the top 8 of the region.
Well, we are about to find out. The Gauntlet is well and truly underway to kick things off. Of course, on the blue side is where we will see Justice here, and then on the opposite side, there's that new member Change coming in, substituting in anyways, kick things off there. Yeetzy will take the ball, push it back over to midfield, get a nice clear off, and Change takes it again, bounce back by Days. Still so far, it's going to be on the Manlet side of the field. See if Justice can keep his control up.
And we've normally seen Yeetzy be the very defensive player for Justice Esports. He's starting to push up. He's getting aggressive, trying to make some plays, and that's what we want to see from them. All 3 members getting involved in the attack.
Now Misty takes it up towards the side, rides the backboard for just a second. Steve can't quite get to the ball, but Yeetzy's there for the second win. Unfortunately, it goes a little too. Another attempt across, missed by Steve, and it's going to get bounced back by Requiem there. So far, no clear control as it stays up towards midfield, but this is the first honest attempt at an attack that Manlets have made. Let's see if they can make something out of it.
They don't have a lot of boost, though. They were held under pressure by Justice Esports. They did manage a good dunk over the top of Yeetzy to really release that pressure, but they weren't able to get onto attack and really have enough resources to get a goal.
Yeah, slow start here. Steve tries to make a pass at a good save by Days. He gets it back, rides it back in once more, looking for midfield, but there's the attempt for Misty. Nearly goes in, but Requiem stops it. All right, ball's gonna stop at midfield for just a second. Misty will pick this one back up, and another attempt by Change to try and knock it in, but as you said, not a lot of boosts, not a lot of attempts.
It's a turnaround as well, as we just haven't seen anything from Manlets. This could be the trouble that they have with Change. They're not used to the rotations. They're not sitting in those defensive passing positions that can really help you alleviate the pressure for long periods of time or even gain it yourself. And
Couple of demos there.
I think that's a great example. Day's just taking a shot, but that was never going to be a goal.
Yeah, Misty tries to go lead it in himself. However, this time the defense is still there for Manlet's. Short for Manlet's chess apparatus, but this isn't chess. They're playing Rocket League, a bit of a faster paced game. We'll see if they can pick up that pace as they try to send it back to midfield, only to have Steve once again threaten near the goal.
It's been just rough and tumble right now for Justice Esports. They keep going attack, and eventually they have to score a goal. It was the 1 and 2, and it's good to see Misty pushing up off Yeetzy instead of the other way around.
Yeah, nice little punch in there for Misty, and starting to see that younger player really shine with the Justice squad. 1-0 up, and it's about half the game time already elapsed here. We'll see how Justice can keep this going, or will it be Manlets that actually find an equalizer?
And it's very clear the amount of pressure that Justice Esports have put on. If it wasn't obvious from the amount of time they've been in the attack, 6 shots to 1 so far.
Yeah, and that's all about controlling the boost. It does seem yummy. You pointed it out earlier that, you know, whoever has the boost can take the shots a lot better, get much better ball control.
Well, it's the pressure that gets you that boost control. You get the ball, you rotate really well, you keep it in attack, and then you steal the boost on your way and drain the defense of all their resources because they just don't have as much room on the pitch. They have to worry about the shots coming in.
You do. Game 1 of the best of 5, down 0-1 here. Manlet's the newly qualified team. Would not want to go out 0 and done. Not after just getting fresh into the Gauntlet. However, Justice is still a tough contender to go up against. Attempt from half court there is going to get pushed back, or half field, I should say. Another attempt pushed by Steve. It's going to get denied this time. There might be a chance as Days sends it to the center, but it's turned away by Misty again.
Fresh attack coming out from Requiem, but again, they're not using each other. There's no passing positions. We need to see a bit more from Change, and maybe that bump is going to be enough. It opens up the net, and Requiem finishes it off to tie up the game.
Just found a nice little hole in the defensive Justice right there. Let's take a look at it again. A little bounce and tap, easy as you like.
Really well done by Change as well. That bump in the midfield, they thought that they had an easy defense, and that's, I guess, their way to get back into this game. They don't have the passes. They don't have those big unpredictable plays right now that you'd expect from Manlets, but they can be unpredictable in how they deal with their opponents.
Speaking of unpredictable, man, that was a tense moment there. However, Justice couldn't quite knock it in. Good defensive maneuvers there out of Manlets. They send it back to midfield. Yeetzy going to bounce it back again, but at 1-1, this is still anybody's game. 1:20 left to play. Close one, but Requiem's there, and Steve bounces it back again. So many saves, so many attempts, and they keep knocking it away.
One from Requiem, another from Requiem, and then Days to finish it off. That's a big defensive play, and it's still 1 apiece. That could make all the difference.
Off to the backboard, but this time it's on the Justice side. Change looking to knock it in. It's defended once more, and we are into 1-minute territory.
This is getting close. Another opportunity from Days. This is Manlet stepping up to the plate. They have the potential to cause the first game upset.
Yeah, if they can make it happen, that certainly builds some good momentum for them. Keeping it on the Justice sides, working well for Manlets right now at the 1-1. We're looking closer and closer to overtime. If they can't knock it in, Daze tries to one-man army it through. Requiem picks it back up. The control here out of Manlet's looking good in the last 2 minutes.
Control the speed, Requiem. He's just getting in the way. That was almost a big demo that opened up the net, and it's all Manlets right now in the last minute after a dominating performance from Justice Esports for the first 3.
Requiem and Change playing great defense here, going for the aerial. Bounces it back into mid. Looks like Daze is going to try to send this one. A long ball, misses it. Yeetzy was there for the defense anyways. 10 seconds now.
It's getting close. It is almost there. 8 seconds left on the clock.
Oh boy, looks like we're going to OT. One last ditch attempt and 2 seconds remaining. They're going to let the timer run out, and it is overtime in game 1 of the Gauntlet.
This is so much closer than I thought it was going to be, especially considering the rough start that Manlet's had, but they have brought this back, and we are going to have ourselves a good series, ladies and gentlemen.
Now already off to a good start here. Steve taking the high ball, trying to send this one in, defended in by Change. Slotting into this team quite well, actually. Some question marks surrounding him coming in for Lurky, but it looks like it hasn't been as much of an issue. Yeetzy tries to send it into the goal. All they need is to get one to put this game away. It would be a good way of wiping away some of that off play we saw from Justice in the start of it. Requiem defends again.
Steve is normally the player who gets those big plays. You can really get past an entire defense solo, and he just missed that double touch. A hard one, but something you'd expect him to get.
Daze, that's a nice attempt there. Looks for the center, doesn't end up happening. Goes off to the other side, Misty, right into the arms of Daze as he knocks this one off the wall. Yeetzy's there to push it back in, and he gets it just far enough. That's gonna be the game going the way of Justice.
The first goal to the first game to Justice, and it was a tiny mistake. But that is how the overtimes get decided. One little moment, and that was a good shot on net. Justice Esports taking out game 1 and trying to secure their position back in the Gauntlet.
And it wasn't all that easy. You look at that when we talked about Justice being favored coming into this one, but the fact that it ended up being 1-1, and it was some very sloppy Rocket League at the beginning. A lot of teams bouncing it back and forth. There was not a lot of ball control on either side, but it seemed like Justice had so many more shots, and they still only had the one goal.
They had really good rotations, and they were keeping that shot, the shots coming, but just nothing really scary. That one goal that they did have early on was a big opening of the net from like multiple plays, and then finally a solid pass to finish it off. I think that was the major step. They didn't have that passing step to finish it off most of the rest of the game. That being said, they played well. Yeetzy and Misty stepping up because Steve didn't have the best game. If Steve starts getting that going, then not only will they be scary in this series, they could be scary throughout the rest of the day.
Justice has some more chances for sure to really step it up further, but for right now, they do walk away with one game in their pockets. They just need to finish it off a couple more, and they can be securing themselves in the next round.
I think this is a worrying position for Justice because Manlet's looked really good right at the end of that match. The last minute and a half, Manlet's were the better team. It wasn't until overtime that it was one goal that made the difference. But if Manlets play the way they did in that little segment, they're going to take out the rest of the series.
Well, we'll see. Of course, they got plenty of chances left to do. And I do think it was really solid to see the performance, not just as the team overall, but Change coming in and really looked in his element. Even though it was kind of sloppy, a little chaotic, they still made it work. We're going to kick off, though, game number 2 here. 5 minutes to play, and we'll see who takes control. But still on the orange side, Daze tries for a goal. Going to be easily defended there by Misty. Really good defensive maneuvers from all of the Justice side, but they do not have control of the ball.
And I really want to see if James can get in, and he does. He gets on the attack. He gets it past one. A hard read on the backboard coming out from, I think it was Yeetzy, just getting past him, and that is the first goal for Manlet.
Big oversight there from Justice. As the ball went high, they all did as well, and nobody was at home to defend. So in the first 15 seconds, Manlet's already started to score, and I think your prophecy is coming true here, Yummy.
It is potentially going one way. I want to see Manlet get more passing plays, but if they just get solo goals like that and maybe draw out some mistakes from the defense.
Speaking of mistakes, though, that was a close one. Off the crossbar. Got to be thanking your lucky stars that didn't go in on the Manlet side. They still have control of this ball, though. They will send it back past midfield. Misty trying to knock it away and defend. Daze looking for a center. Nobody there to take it. Requiem was already in the back of the net. Still, it's a fight over the ball. You see so many more shots happening right now on the Manlet side. Good attempt. Requiem takes this ball away. Daze sends it forward. Steve on the defense. Here comes the high tap from Change, and it's going in for 2.
So clever from Daze. He gets this ball past one, flicks it up as well, just gets it past Steve, and that is a cherry for Change. Absolutely easy to pick that one.
Oh, man. What a beautiful play there. 2-0 up, and we've only had a minute so far. Manlet's looking real good right now, and we're going to be certainly in for a tied series if this keeps going the way it is. Daze should take the ball up from the net, pushes it all the way back to midfield. Requiem bounces it high, looking for the pickup from Daze as well. Change still there, playing very far forward, our Manlets.
Requiem had a really good opportunity there too. Really hard to read, but you can see the firepower that Requiem brings. They had to respect that he could get that goal, and has created a lot of opportunities. It is turning around now, and the double commit is going to break down this attack.
Yeah, Justice had a couple of attempts there, but you could see the rest of Manlet scrambling to return in time, managed to get their Change. Great job slowing down just in time to pick this ball back up, and it sits at midfield, finally bounced the other way. Yeetzy is there for the defense, but this is Justice playing a little slower than Manlet, so you can see the speed has increased for this side on orange. Nice demo from Change there as he looks to center it up, and Requiem not there in time.
You can see as well, Manlet's trying to adjust with Change. They haven't played with him a lot, and it's very clearly showing. And as they play more and more of the series, they're going to get more and more comfortable. On the opposite side, Justice are doing the same. Yeetzy pushing up more than you'd normally expect, and that's getting in the way of their rotations, including a couple of double commits.
Yeah, already missing an attempt or two there. Change going to send this one back to mid. Means Yeetzy can be there for the intercept. And something we're seeing a lot of Manlets do, though, is they're really challenging for a lot of these fly balls. They're getting them quite consistently, too. That means the possession just hasn't been in favor of Justice as much this game. Change doing another clear.
It has been very back and forth, and I think when it comes to Manlets, them just being able to get solid touches, be very aggressive, and really scare the defense is putting Justice Esports on the back foot.
Yeah, really hard for them to get a full drive together just because of the fact that there's so much attacking pressure coming out of Manlet. Daze sends this one high once again, trying to bounce off the backboard. And there's always somebody, even if it's themselves, there to answer. Change sends it once again, looking for the center ball. This time it's going to be Requiem bouncing it. They're just really playing off the backboard constantly, this Manlet squad.
So much possession. You can see they're following up everyone's touches really well. They're getting into good areas of the pitch to make sure that they can be the first one to get the next touch on whatever ball, wherever the ball goes.
It looked like we were almost going to be in for another double commit there, but backing off just in time. Now Daze comes through. Steve bounces it back again. Haven't seen a lot out of Steve in this series so far. Been where he needed to a couple of times, but still it's 0-2 in this number 2 game. Looking for a tied series in a best of 5.
Justice Esports had the chance to get on attack. They did really well to get out of defense, but they had no boost left, and that is going to send it all the way back 3-0 now.
Requiem puts this game away for all intents and purposes. A minute and a half, it's enough time to get a goal or two, but 3, you're really starting to ask for a lot there.
That's a clever play off the corner too. That was very hard to read. He jumped early, he did his double flip, and still reads it. That is why Requiem is so unpredictable. You don't know when he's going to reach the ball, or even if, until he finally hits it.
Ooh, and Change almost made himself a hat trick right there. Look at that off the start of the pass. They're just not content with getting themselves up 3-0. They want even more. Requiem going to try to take this one, challenged by Yeetzy, but you can see how far forward Justice are playing. It's desperation time in game 2. Off the backboard, there's the attempt. Misty knocks it in. Finally on the board.
They have brought this one back, and it's back in with a chance. Justice Esports, you can definitely score 2 times in the next minute, tie it up. It was the 1-2. They caught the defense off guard, and if they can do that a little bit more, we will see ourselves another overtime.
All right, well, let's see if Manlets can tighten their intervals here and stop the 2 scores from coming through. It's another minute left to play. And here we go. You can see the horn sounding right there. Misty and Steve take it up for some possession. Justice doing a little bit better on that game so far. Daze is there to push it back. Yeetzy tries to pick it up, still bounces in favor of Manlets. Daze picks it back up again. So much circling back here, constantly trying to keep control of the ball. That's all they need to do to put this game away. Yeetzy goes for a high touch there off the ceiling, manages to get it back for Justice. Steve looking to send this one in, but Change denies it. Daze is there, but so is Yeetzy. He beats him to the ball. 30 seconds now on the clock.
And this is all Manlets need to do, just get that ball forward, get a follow-up touch, and make Misty commit all that boost in that position. Now it's going to be impossible for Justice Esports to get the next 2 goals.
Yeah, just play keep away right now. Daze is going to send that one flying, sends himself flying rather, as The ball continues to stay up in the blue corner. Misty's going to send this one in. Long ball attempt. Change can't quite get there in time. But Daze is always there to counteract it. Bouncing back and forth. That's a good use defensively on the boost and still in dangerous territory. But with the timer running out, that's going to be it. Manlet takes game 2, and we have ourselves a series as predicted.
The turnaround, it was a surprise that they went so close in game 1. This may be more of a surprise that it wasn't just a win, but a very clean win for Manlet over the top of Justice Esports.
Yeah, really was.
This is going to be start feeling nervous for Justice Esports. They are one step away from potentially being knocked out of the top 4 by a team that didn't even make league play.
And that would be pretty huge right now to see somebody that has come out of the qualifier in RLO to really upseat a team like Justice, make them re-qualify for the Gauntlet next week. It'd be quite a lot. So really right now what we're looking at, I think game 1 and game 2 felt very night and day. Manlet's maybe a little bit of a warm-up for them.
Well, for sure as well, because they're bringing in change. Right? They don't normally have Lurky, or they normally have Lurky, and it's a very different team. It's more about that straight firepower. I think change is giving them a lot in terms of their rotations and clean play as well.
Yeah, the start of the game in 2 just really did look a lot tighter, a lot cleaner, and getting out to a goal in the first 10 seconds certainly does wonders for your confidence.
Yep.
You can take some of those nameplates off, not worry about the fact that, hey, this is a team that qualified for League, we didn't. You don't want to think about that.
Well, Manlets, they're all experienced players. They're definitely going to be feeling confident against any team in the competition. It's just whether they can really pull it together. And now they may be thinking, man, why don't we have change on the roster if we're able to achieve this with him?
But maybe Lurky's sweating himself right now and wondering, oh, man.
Well, lucky for them, change is on another top 8 team. He's on the 1NE esports team. And so I think that his Lurky's position is a little bit safe.
All right, we're going to kick off game number 3 right now. 1-1 apiece for both these teams. Justice going to start off trying to take an attack, and Yeezy will bounce it. Going very far forward once again. We've seen Yeezy play back, play forward. He hasn't quite decided which side of the field he wants to stay on.
It is absolutely devastating right now when you see that maybe it's a 4v2. Some mistouches coming, and this is giving Justice Esports the opportunity to get back into attack.
It definitely is. They've been bouncing the ball between themselves right now. Here's Misty going up for a center, but it gets denied. Steve is going to be the one that ends up taking it. Change and Yeezy looking to race to the ball here, and it looks like it's going to be Yeezy that gets it. Still, ball's really centered around midfield for the most part. Requiem tries for a push-in, boosts forward for it, but he does miss the connection. Change is going to go once again in the arms of Requiem, denied by Yeezy.
Smart play from Yeezy, going for that intercept. He saw the chance of the pass to come and went immediately to stop it from happening, knowing his teammates were behind.
A lot of high balls, though, once again, out of Manlet, trying to get it in there, and Change starts off by scoring again with a minute of play.
You said it, the high ball is so important. They were running back, they were on their counterattack. You get it high, you get it over the top of Misty, and he has such a hard time being able to deal with that. Opens up the net for Change.
Yeah, really using so much of that air to great effect right now. It's something we love to see out of Manlet. Haven't seen as much out of Justice here today. 1-0 now, 3:50 left to play. Game number 3, 1-1 on the scoreboard. We've already got a great series to open things up. No big shutout so far. Change is going to take that ball. Nice
work
defense.
By Change. He was getting demoed. He had to jump over and still made the save. It's still not enough, though. Yeezy finds the open net.
Sometimes he's like a shark in open water. Yeezy just comes out of nowhere, boosts his way in for the goal.
Oh, that
Here's
was
the
all
replay.
Steve.
That was a good setup, too.
He had 2 really beautiful 50s right there. Took out 2 players and sent it in the middle. Yeezy got the freest goal of his life.
Yeah. Steve stepping up, though. We wanted to see him do this all series long. He was kind of non-existent a little bit last week. And oh, there's the high ball. Once again, I think Justice are starting to realize they can defy gravity. Yeetsy's going to be taking the brunt of this offense, tries to set himself up, but it's well denied by Requiem there, sends it back to midfield. Daze trying to set up once again. They really like riding the corners. Let's see if they can get the center, and it goes in. Change with the twofer.
No one ready to intercept that time. It was too fast. The quick 1-2, Change in the perfect position. And I wanted Manlet to find that passing play. They have got it now multiple times this game and secure the lead once again.
All right, so even though they get scored on, Manlet's really unfazed in this. We've had just about a goal a minute so far, a little bit more than that, as it's 3:08 left to play in this game. Daze riding the wall, trying to set things up on his own side of the field. Nice demo onto Misty. It looked like it could open up an attack, but Steve was there for the defense. However, Change pushes it back again. Misty going to go high for it to defend, and The ball bobbles once more. Yeezy trying to set this one up, challenged by Days. Back to midfield it goes.
Some desperation defense. Days was coming in front of the ball, but he does really well to get a solid 50. Very difficult when you are coming from the same direction as the defender to get behind that ball.
That is a little difficult for sure. We've entered the final half of the game so far here. Yeezy trying for the defense, change, looking to set this one up. They really love playing off that backboard, Manlet's do. Requiem, here he goes again. However, a lot of defense there from Justice. They're not keen on letting another one go in, and they need to be the ones on attack right now.
It really feels like the battle of 50-50s too, as another big 50-50 coming out from Requiem in his favor. And that is how the goals might end up being scored, but Justice Esports need to get a couple in a row if they want to take out this game and get the lead.
Well, that's the start. Misty looking for it. Oh, the last second defense there by Requiem as he turned in the net.
It is a hard road now for Justice Esports. They are going to be on death's door if they lose this, and it's against the Manlet. It's a team they shouldn't be losing to. That one almost.
Oh, what a slow roller, Misty. I can't believe that didn't go in right there, and it was a good defense at the end by Manlet, but again, they'll be counting their blessings after that one. Yeezy trying to set another one up for Misty, but it's sent back to midfield. Again, you can just play the defensive game. They're still going to look for shots, but they don't have to be all upfield. Change sends this flying again onto the backboard.
This one's high, and there was no clear this time from Yeezy. It can be dangerous when you go for those high backboard touches because you can very easily get the half volley clear all the way down the other end. But we're not seeing that from Justice.
No, and it's really difficult to try and play off these because as Misty scores again, they have managed to equalize. So finding a few holes in that armor.
And Steve again to find the midfield touch to get that unpredictable play to set up something for Justice Esports. They tie up the game, and that looked a lot better than the rest of their match.
All right, the last minute's going to count for a lot here. 2-2 with a minute to play. Justice take the starting touch. However, Change rides the wall high again, tries to set it up. Requiem was there for it. And they're just all over the place, absolutely guzzling the boost. Requiem on the defense, pushing it back. Misty's there. He's got to get it past him. He does manage to beat him on the defense, but that ball's not going anywhere. It means Steve gets to set up an opening shot here. Look at that set play. Tries to ride this in. Bounces off a couple defenders. Right back to it again. There's the set play. However, it's denied once more by Manlet.
It is the turnaround time, but now it's Manlet just sitting in defense. They're getting into that early match pressure that Justice Esports was setting up. And they need to find something. That's a very good play from Change to get that over the top.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to be going into overtime unless we can see a little bit more of that Manlet's magic looking for the center shot. Requiem goes high for it, and it's just off the backboard. Everybody coming in. Change was there. It's denied back to midfield now, looking at 10 seconds to play. Change has it. Everyone's bobbling for it at the moment. Here comes Steve, tries to send this one flying. And I think if you're Justice, you'll be happy with overtime considering how this game began.
Oh, that is a big play from Steve. See how confident he is. He used all of his boost just to try and make a play happen, and he almost got it. Still a chance now for Justice Esports. Should hit the ground. That was important for Manlet to get that one down.
Yeah, stop the momentum, get themselves into a reset scenario, and now it becomes all golden goal. Steve takes the first touch. Days is still going to be there for the defense and beats him to it. However, Yeetsy's there. That was a close one as it looked like it was going off the backboard, or rather off the crossbar. Demo comes in as Days is knocked out of this one. However, the ball still takes a fortuitous bounce from Manlet.
You see, Matt, this game is so important for both the teams. This could be the deal breaker, the one to get you 2-1 ahead. And of course, it has to be an overtime. Last time we saw Justice Esports take it, clinching it out, but this is a good opportunity now for Manlet.
Requiem rides that one all the way through, putting it on that side. Change looking to go for it, but Yeezy was right there in the front. And everyone on Manlet is playing very aggressive at the moment. You got to be careful, though, as the ball could go flying the opposite direction at any point. Days riding it again. Misty for the defense. It goes over his head, centered, and it's almost gone in! The bounce off the floor, though.
That was so close, and I think it might have taken both defenders, Misty and Steve, combined to make the save. They just hold on, and they could get the goal here, but it gets turned around once again.
Steve is able to intercept it at midfield, though. Looks to ride it up, trying to take it again. Change beats him to it. Here comes Requiem, looking to go off the backboard. Misty defending. Days turns it back again. No one there to stop it, though, as Yeezy is able to push this one back. Mitzi touching it up. Starting to play a little bit more like Manlet's, using this backboard quite a lot.
And this is the worry for Manlet too. When it came to the qualifiers, they couldn't play under pressure. The nerves got to them. This is an overtime. This is where the nerves are at its highest, and we'll have to see if they can stay calm under pressure once again.
That's the moments that determine match point. Whoever wins this one, we one game away from winning, and that's going to be Misty. Gets himself the third.
He had one boost left, used everything to get up to. They get so fast, well ahead of Days, still finds the angle. A brilliant goal to take out the overtime for Justice.
But what a close series. We've had 2 OTs already here, Yummy. This has been a great one, and you know, Justice may well put it away, but they have certainly been challenged by Manlets.
And that's the difference between having an experienced team that have been together for a while, or maybe something new with a sub in as well from Change. Those overtimes can make all the difference. It could have gone already 3-0 to Manlets, and they could have proven themselves. I think right now, regardless of the outcome of the rest of the series, Manlets have proved that they belong, or that they are a team that fight in the top 8.
It's going to be coming down to, though, will they be able to take this one to Game 5? Can they beat out Justice and force that deciding matchup? Because if they do, then I think it's an even stronger case for them going forward. And even if you do get knocked out, you kind of feel like, all right, well, it was this close. We can re-qualify for the Gauntlet. It's not going to be an issue. But if they beat Justice, they can do 2 games in a row. I mean, anything's possible.
They've had so many close opportunities. It's been a really close game so far. And they've had all these great moments. They're not stringing it together, though, for 5 minutes. Need 5 minutes of strong play from the Manlets. Then they'll be able to take it out. For now, Justice Esports just feel like they're, being a little bit more consistent across each game.
Yeah, and that's good. You want to be going in a positive direction as far as momentum is concerned, right? Game 1 definitely looking a little sloppy on that side. Manlet's taking advantage of that, even though it ended up being an overtime loss for them. Justice definitely cleaning things up as the games go on. I think Misty has been fantastic on the offense. Yeetsy's been great on the defense. Steve has been stepping up and setting those set plays up. And we'll see if that continues here in match point right now. It's best of 5. It's 2-1 in favor of Justice as they will take the first touch.
As Misty as well, and it's appropriate. He was the one that finalized the last game and give it to Justice Esports, and he's going to set it up as well. Yeetsy, though, to finish it off.
Oh, Yeetsy just turned that one back. It was a nice little bicycle kick off the back of the hood. Beautiful play.
That's so scary for Days. When you see Steve coming off the wall, you're going to think, he's going to hit this past me. He had to go out, doesn't get the best touch, and that sets it up for Yeetsy to finish.
Yeah, 15 seconds, not even 12 seconds, and that was the starting score here for Justice. So already well and truly in the driver's seat. Let's see how they keep this momentum going. It does go back in the favor of Manlets in terms of possession, but still a little wild. They send this into the corner pretty quickly. It's enough of a chance for the intercept. However, up on the high, Days is going to send this one to the backboard, and we're in a familiar territory with it bouncing around.
It is a lot of aerial play, a lot of getting it above the net, try and drain the resources. It seems to be about pressure for the Manlets, and then one big pass play to finish it off. And right now, Justice Esports dealing with it well.
They certainly are. Finding holes in the strategy that Manlets are employing, because when they all set up for those plays, all they need to do is boot it away and get themselves out into an offensive position to score again. Good start here for the Justice side, and Steve scores again.
Steve the Trickster out of the corner. This is a great pinch up. Look at that one coming up and out. And then Misty gets it back to Steve. Steve coming out of the corner. A lot of other players would have rotated out, but he went in. He knew the shot might come and that he could secure the goal.
Yeah, great job by Steve, comboing up there with Misty. In frustration, Days is going to demo on Steve early on, but it's 2-0 right now for Justice. If you're Manlets, you've got to get it back together quickly because your tournament hopes are on the line in this game.
This could be it. It feels so much in Justice's favor, but Change. Very good opportunity set up for himself.
Yeah, good defense, though, out of Justice once more, and Yeetsy is going to help boot it out of there. Rides that one all the way through. Change will pick it back up in the corner. Not if Yeetsy has something to say about it, though. He tries to intercept him. It's going to take Requiem to do it, and meanwhile, Steve was able to turn it again. Good attack coming out of Justice once more.
You see as well, Justice have Steve going up forward, trying to open up the net, and his 2 teammates are staying back, waiting for something to happen. And even though that, seems like a great strategy in the long run, it's not going to score you goals.
No, it's not. Ooh, that almost did, though. Requiem tried to push it in. He ended up just getting the demo onto Yeetsy instead. Days is going to ride this one high, but they just haven't been able to string a set play together on the Manlet side. 3 minutes to try and put something together because that will be the end of their tournament if they do not prevail here. Days boosting for it. Right at his back is Steve. looking to set this one up. Yeetzy on the defense once more. Takes a couple of bounces. Requiem looking to set this up. Yeetzy there, pushes it back, change in the net. Good defense from Manlets, but they're the ones that need to be on attack here, and Misty scores again, 3-0.
That was all of the defense of Justice Esports. They found a defensive pass. They know where each other are going to be situated when they're coming out, and they set up this brilliant counterattack. Everyone from the Manlets was still scrambling back to net, and they take advantage.
Justice are moving parts and interchangeable, it seems. Everybody's had a goal in this game already. So, halfway through the play, looking to set up another one is Misty. It's disaster time for the Manlets. They need to find an answer quickly, and it is getting harder and harder to execute. Looking to set it up here. Good defense from Steve. However, they leave it open. Days scores, and all of a sudden, there's still a chance.
Steve did the best he could, but it's another counterattack goal. He's running backwards. He can't get the best 50 possible. And you know what? Requiem reads that every day of the week, gets it situated in the middle, and they are starting to bring this one back.
Finally, results come through for Manlets. Will they be able to challenge here and force a game 5? They need 2 more goals just to get OT. Justice not going to slow down an inch, despite the fact that they give up a goal there. They're still fighting for every inch of the ball. Misty looking to send it into the corner. Change is there for the defense.
And that's a problem. They had 2 people challenging. They didn't know who was going. And in the end, it cost them a triple commit. This might have reeled in Justice Esports. Luckily, Misty was the one man back.
Misty is able to defend it, push it back in favor of Justice. It's going to force a reset here as Requiem looks to ride this one. Beating out one of the attackers. But he's not getting it anywhere, and he's out of boost right now, so he's going to be dead in the water. That means Misty can send this one high in favor of Justice. Change pushes it back. Steve is there, but the ball's still on the Manlet side.
A rough miss from Yeetzy there too. Could give Manlets an opportunity here. A good save from Misty running backwards, but you can see how scrambled this Justice Esports defense is.
They certainly are, but all they need to do is hang on for another minute and 15 seconds. They still have a 2-score advantage here to try and prevent overtime. Looking to send that one in. It goes a little bit wide. You'd see on the attack, he's going to have to get back and reset. Rotate again. Requiem's there. The goal, looking for it, and it's going to get denied. Days with the save. 1 minute to play.
It is getting close. Manlet's the last chance to stay in the top 4. They've done so well for themselves. They've really committed to playing at the highest level despite having their dreams shattered not just a few weeks ago. And this is their last hurrah. Can Days set something up? Misty shuts it down.
Really trying for it here, but with 30 seconds left to play, hopes are dimming. Doesn't seem like there'll be a whole lot of justice for Manlets, but Justice looking to move on themselves. In this match point, 22 seconds. They need to set up a goal, and they need it absolutely right now. Looking to play forward. Here's Requiem, gets the bounce off. Change trying to ride this one in, but he only sends it to the corner, looking for the center. Here's Days. Not going to happen. It goes wide.
A great opportunity, but Justice Esports, they are so good at holding on their net. They've held on for this entire series. And despite the 2 overtimes, they have clutched it out. Justice Esports are going to go through, and now they have the difficult task of facing down Icon Esports.
A little victory lap here for Justice, and that is all they need. Facing off against Icon next will be an interesting one, but that's it. Justice will take it 3-1.
It was a great series. We saw so close. The first 3 games were really the big telling moments where Manlets really drove it home. They just couldn't get it really going, and Justice Esports feel like they're really picking up the heat.
I think Manlets would count themselves a little bit unlucky in game 1. Like, a lot of the traffic was going their way. It was a good first showing. We saw last week that a good game 1, particularly if you catch your opposition off guard like Out of Order did, you can set yourself up for the series. It wasn't to be the case. Justice showed their credentials, but I mean, I'm not seeing enough from them.
Yeah, it really didn't feel like this is the kind of performance that would even take down Out of Order. But we did sort of think when we were coming into this series as well that Justice Esports are going to be changing up a few of the things. We saw Yeetzy get more aggressive than we normally see, and that is going to shake up how their rotations work.
Yeah, I think, look, Change was a great addition as well. But, I mean, I'd like to see them at full strength. Change, he did the right things. He was banging goals in left, right, and center. But you can always put an asterisk next to it saying that they were not playing with their full lineup. That being said, I'd like to see them go back to, the qualification. Again, come back next week potentially and show their credentials again.
Speaking of qualification, that is the end of the series. We are going to head up towards the next one. But coming into next week, we are adding a second division into it. So Saturdays will still be happening. RLO Saturday 3v3. You can participate that and get into the top 2 now to try and get into the Challenger division. We're calling it the Slipper.
The Slipper.
The Slipper. And
happy with that.
for the first week, it's going to be a double elimination. 6 teams are invited, including Manlets and Irrelevance, who were in last week, and the other top 4 teams from League Play.
For all the Cinderella stories.
For the Cinderella stories, but you can join them as well if you play in RLO Saturday at 4 p.m. This will be on at 6 p.m. on Sunday. Even the teams don't know right now.
Yeah,
so
more
this is the
info on
first
Yummy's
they
Twitter,
know.
so you'll find out more soon enough.
And every Cinderella story started with a slipper. So
Absolutely.
This is where we're going with it.
Yeah, good stuff. And again, all this is made possible by you, the fans, and the people that have contributed not only to the prize pool, but also just by watching. So thank you very much for making that happen. And yeah, so we got one more round going forward. Looks like we'll be ready for a break in just a sec.
Yeah, we're ready. We'll be back
All
with
right.
Icon versus Justice Esports.
In 5 minutes. Don't you go anywhere.